All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It's Friday. That's right, people. We are back 3 in a row this week. What is going on here in the cave? But we haven't done an Octane Friday in a while, so let's clear those lungs, people. Let's get ready. Bring it up here. That's right, people. It is Octane Friday, and that's when we kick it up a notch. What do we got going on today? First of all, Facebook reminds me that it was 5 years ago today that I finished the cave. And I think I have a picture of that. It hasn't changed much, but we'll see if I can get that in there. A little bit of different lighting. These lights are on up there. But that was a full year before I knew what I was going to even do with it. And then, lo and behold, we ended up here. So there you go. That's that story. What are we talking about today? So many topics for Octane Friday. As I'm scrolling around this week, I've been listening to a lot of heavy stuff and listening to, the usual suspects, a lot of Def Leppard, a lot of AC/DC, threw in some Queensryche. So many good choices, like I said. But we're going back to this week, tomorrow, in 1987, the golden era of rock, hard rock, glam, whatever you want to call it. March 23rd, 1987, Whitesnake released their 7th album called Whitesnake. They debuted a new logo, so that was their new logo versus the old one. And they had a new look, just like so many people, just like Heart did around this time. They had a glam look with a new glam sound. And it was kind of a natural progression, like so many bands. So this record coming off the heels of Slide It In, which in 84, which is one of my favorite all-time records anywhere, and of my favorite Whitesnake record, which is just so heavy and amazing and just great. Not unlike Def Leppard, coming off of Pyromania, and then they put out Hysteria, same idea of moving along in that direction. So Slide It In is Pyromania, and Whitesnake is Hysteria, to me. That's to me. It took over just about a year to record. They were having some issues. It was the first time that Coverdale worked with guitarist John Sykes, and this record, he played on this record, but then was released before the record was released. And there was a lot of debate back and forth. Well, was that him playing? Anyway, but that's him, and he came from a short stint with Thin Lizzy in '83 for their Thunder and Lightning album, and then he left and formed the band Blue Murder, which I believe I saw open up for maybe Ozzy, Blue Murder and Vixen and White Lion and Ozzy or something like that. Anyway. And it's their last record with bassist Neil Murray. This record threw out 4 singles. Everyone remembers 87. This was just the perfect music for that. The track listing for the United States, different than in Europe. That wasn't all that unusual. But the album was called 1987 in Europe. In Japan, it was called Serpens Albus, which I assume Whitesnake. But it had the North American tracks on it. But this album was huge. 8 million copies in the United States, 10 weeks on and off in the top 5. It stuck at number 2. It was held back by many albums, one of them being Michael Jackson's Bad record. Anyway, this was just all over the place. All obviously in part due to all the great music videos with Tawny Katane, who we covered when she passed away. But that role wasn't originally for her in the video for what's our song of the day. It was for the pre-famous Claudia Schiffer, but the night before something happened that fell apart. They're trying to figure out how to change things up. And they're like, hey, David, your future wife there is pretty hot. Let's have her come in the video. And there you go. So what do we got? Songs on here. I mean, some of their songs say 87 after them. I didn't remember that. Crying in the Rain, 87. I didn't remember that. And then I think there was one other one on there. But you got Crying in the Rain, 87, Still a Night, Here I Go Again, of course, amazing. Give Me All Your Love, Is This Love? The European version had Looking for Love. Wait a minute, what are they talking about love? Think about all these songs that had love in it between these two records, Slide It In, and this one. You got Love Ain't No Stranger, Hungry for Love, Guilty of Love, Need Your Love So Bad, Give Me All of Your Love, Is This Love, Looking for Love. What's going on here? Anyway, so there's some great songs on here. For me, song of the day came down to Here I Go Again versus Still of the Night. And, Is This Love, obviously more of a ballad, and Slide It In didn't have any of that. So, and it's Octane Friday, so it's not Slow Down Sunday. So I went back and forth a little bit. For me, it's Still of the Night. Still of the Night is the one that really just kicks it off. It bridges the two albums, Slide It In and this one. It's still got some kick to it with his just out of the gate vocals and guitar and even the bass drum and all that stuff. It's a nice bridge from the two albums. And of course, then you go into it and get his wails and screams, and then it slows down, and all of a sudden John Sykes is playing slide guitar. And people think it's a violin. I think pretty sure it's a slide guitar. A bow. He's playing a bow on the guitar. That got the comparison to Led Zeppelin for this song and some others. Anyway, this is a great song for Friday. Still of the Night. Crank this one up. This one is really good. You know what number? Turn it to 11. Gotta love it. Happy anniversary to Whitesnake. March 23rd, 1987. Crank it up. Tell me what you think. Did you guys see this tour? Never saw Whitesnake. Who saw it? Tell me about it below. Comment on your favorite tracks. You know the deal. Whatever you're doing this weekend as we roll into the weekend, I hope it involves music. And as usual, I'll catch you on the flip side.